Good evening. This is Liz Busquets. Today is October 8th, 2020. This is the monthly teleconference for the ASCA Board of Directors. Present today are Denise, Gina, Jan, Jean, Judy, Rachel, Rick, and Warren, and myself, and then Carla is also here. If you haven't listened to our meetings before, the way we do this is we go down the agenda for each item, and if there is discussion, we go around and allow each director to speak, and then if there's a motion, we'll go ahead and vote accordingly. So our first item for today is last month's email business.
I move to accept last month.
I'll second it. This, yeah.
Okay, so what I heard was a motion by Judy, seconded by Jean, was it?
No, by Jan.
By Jan, okay. Seconded by Jan to approve last month's email business. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Okay, so the next item is the revised ASCA release form on the back of the entry form. And so it was revised by ASCA's council. And so I guess this was based on member feedback and board feedback and everything else. So I hope that everybody had an opportunity to look at it. And I think that we will need a motion to accept the revised release. I guess I'm gonna go around and see where we are with it. Denise?
Thank you. I'm in agreement with a new release form, and I do totally agree that the choice is each person's to attend an event, and that they should recognize the fact that it's up to them. There is always a risk, and that they are willing to accept that risk if they attend. And if not, it was their choice. But I think that the revised release is fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gina?
Yes, the revised release is just fine. Thank you.
Jan?
It looks good. Thank you.
Jean?
It looks great. Thanks.
Judy?
Yep, looks good.
Rachel?
Yes, ma'am.
Rick?
Looks good.
Okay, Warren?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the new version.
Okay, so I'm comfortable with it too. So we're gonna need a motion to approve it.
This is Denise. I move to accept the new revised ASCA release form that's on the entry form.
This is Jan. I will second it.
All right, so we have a motion by Denise, seconded by Jan, to approve the new revised ASCA release on the entry form. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. Okay, so the next one is, okay, the 2020 and 2021 finals. So this is one that we've had several thoughts and ideas from the committees. And so I think that we should be getting ready to make a decision about what to do with the 2020 and 2021 finals, whether we want to somehow mix them up or whatever. So I guess I'm hoping that everybody took a look at the options that we have and the ideas that have been set forth. None of them is without problems. And so what really is important is that it's something that needs to be okay for the system and for the office to do. In the past, Ray has told me that he would prefer some sort of combining the 2 years where he just goes in and in the system just changes the end date so that you will have all of 2020 and all of 2021 in the same calculation for 2021 or something like that. But he also thought that some of the ideas like from the rally committee were doable. But like I said, none of them is perfect. None of them is like, it's not gonna have its obstacles. So I guess we need to, I mean, I hope that we have thought already about where we want to go with it. So I'm just gonna go around and see what are your thoughts on this issue. Denise?
I've read the motions, I've read the discussions, listened or read, and this is like a really hard thing to think about because 2020 couldn't happen and 21 is going to happen. But my thing about, I don't see how we can combine the national final programs for the 2 years because you're not comparing apples to apples. You have people that have dogs that competed in 20 that cannot compete in 21, and you have people that did not compete in 20 but can compete in 21, and you have those that can compete in both of them. So I don't see an equal comparison of those myself, but I would really like to hear more of the discussion from the rest of the board and see what they have to say about this. But I want to be sure that everybody gets their recognition for what they did, because they certainly put a lot of time and effort and money into it, and they all need to have recognition, whether it's just whether they get their ribbons and their certificates for their placing, their qualification for finals for 20. Then they also should be recognized at the nationals in 21 with their dogs, with their names and titles. So I would just like to listen to more what other directors have to say. And I apologize for the noise in the background here because we're driving. But anyway, that's what I have to say right now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Denise. Gina?
Well, I've read all this stuff. I've thought about it, and my position has not changed. We have already decided that the 2020 will be recognized at nationals. They will get certificates, and they will get ribbons if they want them. It was not our fault. We need to just move forward. And Denise is right. If there's no way to make everybody happy, and combining lists would be way unfair for a lot of people. So I haven't changed my mind. I think we just need to move forward and go on with 2021. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina. Jan?
I guess one thought is, do they all have to be the same? There's a couple of groups that have lower entry that potentially they could do something different. From the get-go, I thought we should do the same thing for all venues, but I just thought I should mention that obedience and rally, there could be potential of having more dogs and actually agility as well. But it doesn't sound like that's the easiest process. I think my two favorites are the 2 years, 20 and 21. I think there's disadvantages to that. If we just move on to 21, there is also disadvantages. This is not a win. This is going to be what the office can do and handle. And the Nationals has already told us that they can't do any additional competitions or events. So I believe those are the really only two viable choices that we have. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Jean?
Gina, once again, pretty much summed it up for me. You know, the 2020 finalists will be recognized, obviously, with our certificates and things like that. And as we've all pointed out, you know, some dogs could compete in 20 that won't be able to in 21, and some dogs can't compete in 21, or vice versa. Or anyhow, you know, this was a natural disaster type thing, which we're still feeling the effects. And I think the only equitable solution for everybody involved is probably just to say thank you to 2020 and move on to 2021. You know, on a personal note, I had a grandchild that was graduating from high school this year who, you know, that was her big deal, and that didn't happen this year either, and she's not getting a do-over. Thankfully, she's off in Texas at university now, but you know, there are a lot of things this year that didn't get to happen and won't get to happen, but we're all concentrating on the future, and I guess that's just where we need to be. So thank you.
Thanks, Jean. Judy?
I agree with them. I have not changed my mind. I have always thought we should just go forward. And what Jean said is correct. I mean, let's face it, we think we're important, but we're just a dog club. And we need to look forward, and we need to look at the more important things in life. And for some people, this is a disappointment. Absolutely. But disappointments happen. And all you can do is look forward and go on and hope better things happen next year. And that's what I feel we should do. Go forward, try to make the best we can. We're already almost halfway through the year, and many of us have not been able to compete in anything. So combining them is not fair. Not combining them is not fair. So we're going to disappoint a whole bunch of people no matter what, but we have to make the best decision we can. Thanks.
Thanks, Judy. Rachel?
Well, my concern is by not adding both years together to capture those individuals that worked in 20 and those that may work in 21, you could have finals that are not even going to fill because there's specific requirements as in stock for the amount of points that you need to get. And so you're going to have dogs that may show up at finals that are not exactly finals caliber dogs. So you may not even fill finals by not using both years. Have you guys considered that? Is that important to you? Maybe it's not. And you're right, you're going to disappoint someone on either side of the coin. But I really do think that if we consider adding the 2 years together, taking the top competitors, top 20, top 30, or whatever out of both years, that at least may be a little bit equitable to both. That's all I have.
Thanks, Rachel. Rick?
Yeah, thank you, Liz. I've always felt that first I'd like to say thank you to the committees who spent the time to put a game plan together. We asked them for their recommendation. I feel like that some of the committees spent quite a bit of time on doing this, and thank you to them. But my honest opinion is I've always felt this is a board decision. This is not a committee decision. In whatever we choose, I feel like it needs to be consistent. I don't feel like we need to do one for one venue and something else for the other, because it's just not going to be fair to somebody. So I am good with whatever the board decides as long as we're consistent. Thank you to the committees, and I'm ready to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Warren?
Yeah, I think we do need to move forward. I know a lot of time and effort. We've discussed it several times already at the board, and it kind of gets moved out because it doesn't really happen until next fall. But the year is moving through. We do need to execute on this. I think a single solution for all programs. There's a lot of sense in that, and I think that's probably where we'll end up. I agree with Rick. Some of the committees put a lot of thought into this. There are some really innovative ideas. I think really, in what Rachel said, in cases where we may not fill doing the 2-year thing or the various options that some of the committees brought makes a lot of sense. On the stock committee, I love that they provided us, the options and the outcome of the vote, and a little bit from 20, a little bit from 21 could actually come in. But as Dan said, I think we have to move on from 20. We're going to do 21 the way we have always done it, starting on June 1st of 2020 and going to May 31st of 21. And that's not going to be the most popular, but for so many reasons, clerical and otherwise, it's probably where we're going to end up. And I think we need to just say so and move on.
Thanks, Warren. So I have been thinking about this for months since we decided that we were not going to have finals. And I'm torn because I have thought about, what ways could we negotiate this situation so that it's the fairest to everybody. And the problem is that, just like many of you, I have not come up with one that is going to be completely fair to everybody. A solution for all the programs, if we were to say, oh, we're going to just combine the 2 years or whatever, it may work for Stock Dog, but we also have to remember that for rally and obedience, the qualifications are different. And so that's the problem for me. Like, I'm not sure that we could come up with a solution across the board that would be fair for each program, for the competitors on each program, because the qualifications are different. So, it's very problematic because I think that we may end up, unless, things clear up and we have a great spring, that we have a whole bunch of gloves doing shows because they want to make up for lost time. And then we have, the big numbers. Then our finals are going to be rather thin. So I'm just not sure if it's appropriate to make that decision right now, or if we could wait a little longer to make it. But at the same time, the competitors want to know, because, depending on what we decide, some people may decide not to compete. So it's very problematic. I just don't see a way to make it fair for each program and for all competitors within each program. And that's the problem that I'm having with this. So I don't know what the board wants to do, if you guys want to do a motion now in saying we're going forward, we're moving forward, or whatever. But if there is a motion, it needs to come forward, and we'll take it from there if there is one.
Okay, I will make a motion. This is Gina. I move that we move forward with the 2021 nationals. Even if they don't fill, they don't fill. I don't see what else we can do. So,
I think you meant finals. And this
final.
Is
Yes, I did.
this is Jean, and I'll second.
I just got home a little while ago, and I'm just eating dinner. So,
I totally get
yes,
it.
I meant nationals.
Well, some of us have not eaten dinner yet, Gina.
Oh,
Anyway.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Anyway, okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Gina and seconded by Jean to basically move forward with finals, have the 2020 be recognized by the methods that we have already decided upon, the ribbons if they want them, the certificates, and some kind of recognition that is going to be done at nationals, and just move forward. Let the 20 to 2021 finals move forward as they would normally. Is
Should we
that
make it
pretty much
clear?
it, Gina?
Yeah, I guess, do we need to make it clear that it's the same for all disciplines? That all disciplines move forward?
Yeah, I guess we could make it clear like that. Do you have something put together, Kala, from all of that?
Yeah, what I wrote down was motion by Gina to move forward with the 2021 finals for all programs with no modifications. We will recognize the 2020 finalists as have already been decided. Second by Jean.
Okay. So are you good with that, Gina?
Yes, you make me sound smart, Kala. Thank you.
Okay. So it was a motion by Gina and seconded by Jean. So any further discussion? Okay, I'm gonna ask for a vote. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes, this is Rachel.
And Jan.
And I would like to make a comment with my no vote, please, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I am concerned that this is not a fair solution that will result in the filling of the finals for 2021. And also that the board has waited 5 months to make this determination, which was 5 months that people could have been competing for if there were open trials and shows, and they have not because they were waiting for a board decision. So I think it's patently unfair to now say, no, whatever work you did in 2020 is just lost. I am vehemently opposed to this direction. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Did you have a comment also, Jan?
It was along the same lines. I'm concerned that
Okay.
it's not going to fill, and that competitors were assuming we were going to combine the 2 years, because that was a lot of the discussion that they were hearing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will also vote against it. I think that we could find another solution that, even though it's difficult, we could work on it. But anyway, that's my vote. So any abstentions? Okay, so the motion carries 6-3, I think.
Can I say something? Excuse me.
Sure,
this is
Gina.
At any point, we could probably have the motion rescinded if somebody comes up with a viable solution for all programs. But so far, I really haven't heard any.
Yeah.
It's can always come up with something. I mean, we're all listening. So At least this gives people direction. If it doesn't fill, it doesn't fill. What are you going to do? If, you know, we've got to make a decision.
Liz, this is Rachel. May I speak?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Well, I believe there have been solutions offered by each of the committees that it was affecting. And I thought it would have been a better solution to use one of their remedies that they recommended versus just saying no to any of their suggestions. We asked for their suggestions. They worked on it and they put something forward. And now we're basically saying to those committees, thank you, but no thank you. And so I just do not think that that is a way to go in this situation. And in terms of offering another solution, I believe they have been offered, Gina.
Well, then somebody should make a motion.
Well, there's a motion already that passed.
No, I know. What I'm saying, somebody should have. Nothing's been done. We'll just keep talking and talking and talking. So you can always make a motion to rescind it and come up with a better idea.
Well, this motion has already passed. It's possible that, you know, maybe somebody in the membership will come up with something that will think it'll be fair or whatever. It is what it is, and the motion passed, so we have to move forward.
You wait.
So, okay, so the next item is the computer system technology update by Warren.
Hi, yeah, I think the biggest thing on everybody's mind is the agility program, and we heard from Sherry, who, as best I can tell, is our number one user. And if you're listening, thank you so much for helping us to debug it. The latest issue pointed out when there is a change of judge, or basically anytime more than one judge is involved in a trial, that the system can't accept that. And Ray has connected with Inventive, and Inventive is working on that. We don't see that as acceptable, and the Inventive right now is hoping to have a solution available this weekend, but certainly for the next time that Sherry has a trial, that she can upload her results again. So I think there was some question when Sherry sent her note, you know, was this even considered a failure? And it absolutely is, and we're working on it. I think that's the most important thing right now. You know, I do think in the last at the last meeting we talked about the sort of revitalizing the committee for the system, and I did not get any feedback on that. I do think that's something we need to move forward on, but we're going to have member support to get there.
Okay, do we anybody has any questions for Warren on the computer system?
Liz, this is Rachel.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
necessarily have a question, but I'm very happy that Sherry is working, helping us to work through the continuing situations with agility. I had the opportunity to speak with Allison Bryant this past weekend regarding filling the computer committee again, and I will caution again. I've said this to Warren. We need to be very careful that whomever we place on that committee can work well with Allie, since she is our board expert on this system. Because on occasion, if you add too many engineers to a project, it kind of stalls it out. So that's my caution on this. Thank you, Warren, for your work.
Thanks, Rachel.
Any other questions or comments for Warren?
This is Judy.
Go ahead.
I don't actually have a question, but I do know of a person who is going to apply, who has worked with Allie before on the RFP when it first came out. So, you know, we do have some people out there, but maybe we need to put put it out there again that we're looking for people. So I thought they would have applied already, but apparently not. I'll light a fire under them.
Well, I do think we haven't marketed very heavily. So, you know, maybe that's something we just need to put out a little more press to get people. I have been absolutely cognizant of Rachel's comments, and yeah, really you know, we can't really design by committee. We need someone to run it. Allie is our point, but we do need a committee to help keep things going. And so, yeah, it's an interesting place to be in. And if you do have somebody who wants to join, yeah, please do ask them to apply. That would be great.
A question, Warren, did Allie help figure out, you know, how to write up an announcement, you know, like a list of things that ASCA should be looking for in the persons that are going to apply?
I haven't been able to finalize on that yet.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, you have, I guess you'll have to finish that up before we put an announcement out. So, yeah, hopefully.
Once you guys have the requirements for the committee members taken care of, then I have a posting that's waiting to go out.
Excellent.
Super.
Right.
This is Jean.
Go ahead, Jean.
For historical purposes, we should also have the computer committee have a groups IO. You know,
They already do.
Yeah.
Oh, we do?
Yep.
Oh, that I am on that. Sorry, I thought they were just they're individual messages. You're right. Yeah, but they're individual. That's why I got confused. Sorry, my fault.
Yeah,
Okay,
but you know that
sorry.
we were doing that for a while, where we were doing the individual ones plus the plus the group thing. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So sorry, my bad. But yeah, okay, we got that going. Thank you.
Anything else for Warren on the computer system? All right, so we can go move forward. Thank you, Warren. I think the next one is actually for you too. This will be the new server, and our business manager, Ray, has sent us 3 bids, and so we need to decide what we're gonna do. So, Warren?
Yeah, so not having much familiarity with how we deal with bids, I'm very interested in comments from the board at this point.
Okay, so let me go around then. Denise, I also forwarded everything that Ray said when he sent the bids. So I hope that you guys looked at it. So Denise.
I would agree with Ray's recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. Gina?
Excuse me. I agree with Ray's recommendation also.
Jan?
I agree with Ray. The company or the server's been working well in the past, and they've had a good working relationship, so we could continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean?
I'll go with the recommendation. Thank you.
Judy?
Same, I'll go with the recommendation.
Okay. Rachel?
Agree with the recommendation. Thank you.
Rick?
I too am agree to the recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I also agree with the recommendation, Warren. So
I think that thank you guys for saving me from having to sell it. So that was an easy one. I guess from my perspective, that's the natural choice, but I didn't know if we were supposed to be doing any additional work. But so I think at this point, because this is more than 5,000, if I'm not mistaken, we make a motion to spend this money. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I would like to move that that we move forward with a new server from McLean, estimated at $61.26, and give Ray the authorization to finalize the deal.
I'll second it. This is Gina.
All right, the motion on the floor is by Warren and seconded by Gina to go ahead with the recommendation for the server and accept the bid by McLean, and for Ray to go ahead with the purchase. So, any further discussion? I'm calling for a vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, thank you, Warren.
Thank you all
So-
for making it so easy.
Okay, so the last item in our agenda tonight is the virtual titling program, and this will be Gina. Gina?
Sorry about that. Yeah, here I am. You caught me trying to make dessert. You guys get up. Okay.
You're killing me, Gina.
I'm sorry. I really am. Let's see. I would think everybody had a chance to read the motion. It's just basically to give authorization for Ray to set up the virtual judges as vendors so they can get paid. We are ready to go with the program once this, if this motion passes. So that's all I have. Is there any questions?
Any questions for Gina? Is there a second on this motion, Gina?
Yes, I believe, was it Jean or Rachel seconded it? I don't remember now.
It's from Rachel.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, there you go. Rachel
right.
seconded it. So yes.
Okay, so it's a motion by Gina, seconded by Rachel. Oh, God, I lost it. Read it, Calla, because I lost my thing here. Please, thank you.
It is motion by Larson to authorize the ASCA office manager to make appropriate arrangements with judges that wish to participate in the virtual titling program. This includes, but is not limited to, setting judges up as vendors, obtaining W-9 information, creating and processing payments to judges, and preparing and distributing Forms 1099 as needed. Second by Vest.
Very well. There you have it. Any further discussion on this? All right, I'm going to call for a vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. All right, so that was our last item on the agenda. Thank you to the board for such a great meeting. It's productive. And thank you to the membership who has joined us to listen to the meeting. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, Liz.